Muster together, my seafaring friends, as we set sail with an Aussie and a Yank.
We do have the crew from MSC. Hello, Christina.
Hey.
Hello, Derrick. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
Yes.
How are you, mate?
I'm well, and yourself. Thanks for having us. I'm excited to be here.
Attention, please.
So congratulations to MSC. You guys have had your third ship out in Europe, out of Italy this last couple of weeks, right?
No, it's only been one ship.
One ship, but it's a third cruise, right?
Third cruise, correct. Yeah.
You know, you guys have put in some awesome protocols, and you know what? I'm going to actually put a link in if anybody wants to have a look to try where Ken Muscat actually speaks about protocols and what's going on in Europe with you guys and MSC. But I'm so excited that we've got a big cruise line out there and you guys are doing so well. It's so wonderful.
Wish this was the point when you're watching a sitcom and everyone claps in the background because it really is exciting. It's amazing, and we're super excited to be back out there.
I want to know a little bit more about the MSC company. So who wants to tell me about that?
Well, I guess I could start off. So MSC Cruises, we are privately owned. We are currently the world's fourth largest cruise line by capacity. We have between 2013 to 2020, oh gosh, we keep on extending it, but I think it's 2027 now. We have, between the ships that already come up, but it's a total of 17 new ships coming into the fleet. So we're definitely expanding, we're definitely growing, and you know, we're definitely someone that's here to stay. So we are putting our hats off to our competitors as well. So we're trying to be the
leaders.
Yes, I was gonna say, not to be cocky or anything, but yes, we're trying to be number one in everything that we do. So yes, that's our goal.
And that's awesome. I can only say that I really appreciate MSC. I really love the fact the last two ships that I've been on with MSC, they're gorgeous. They're beautiful ships. You guys have such a wonderful product out there.
Absolutely, and I think you really did a great way of describing they are gorgeous. And I always say, you know, some of the best marketing we had in the winter before we had a little bit of a pause was having 4 ships in the Caribbean. You know, I can't tell you how many times someone said to me, you know, I haven't bet on MSC yet. I'm not as familiar with MSC cruises, but I was in port next to this beautiful, amazing, magnificent ship, and I need to get on board. I mean, they really speak for themselves, from the chic European designs, for the Swarovski staircases with 3,000 crystals in each step. It's just amazing.
It is amazing. And you know what I find when I walk onto an MSC ship, I sort of get taken back to, I want to say Italy, because I love Italy and I love the decor on the ships. It's very updated. It's not overdone like some ships, which are just bedazzled, as I call it, bedazzled. It's very elegant, and I love, because I'm a coffee connoisseur, so I love hopping on the ship and being able to go get a really awesome espresso. That's one of the first things I do, is go to the bar and get an espresso. Can you believe that? That's my favorite to do.
It's funny you say that. From working at MSC, that's the #1 thing I want in my home, is an espresso maker, because the espressos, the cappuccinos are so amazing, you get hooked.
I'm not one for caffeine or coffee that much, but I will say, working at MSC, I've got accustomed to the little espresso and the little pieces of chocolate that they give you, that they're like, no, you're supposed to put it in and stir it up. And ever since then, so good, so amazing.
Tell me, you two. All right, I'm going to go Derrick first. What's your favorite ship, love?
Oh gosh, it's so hard. You know how they say you'll probably never forget your first, but my first was MSC Divina, and there's something about her. She's more of our mid-class size ship, but there's just something about her. You can literally get from the front of the ship to the back of the ship in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, but she's still big enough that you could still get lost in. So I really do like her. She's probably my favorite, and probably close second, only because of the size and the technology that's on board. And I'm a real big fan of apps and being technical on board, but the MSC Seaside definitely comes in a close second. And she's just gorgeous from her design to, again, all the technology that we have on board. I still get lost on board to this day. So,
Christina, what about you?
Gosh, it is a tough one. You know, it's like your kids, you're not supposed to have favorites,
Yeah.
but I do have to say I love Seaside. And the reason I love Seaside is all of the outdoor space. You know, I love the Caribbean because I love the sun beating down on me, the ocean air, and it's just amazing.
I think we have a fan. Seaside, see?
I know we have a fan. He said, I want to get on Seaside too. But I just love, even when I'm on the buffet, I can, you know, sitting outside in the morning, drink my coffee outside on the buffet. It's just amazing. And the atrium where they do, you know, the center of the vessel. But my favorite thing is the Gatsby party, when they have all the Gatsby dancers come out on each different level of the atrium. It's just really a special experience. But I like thrills, so I do also like the longest zip line at sea. The zip line's awesome, but the discos, you know, it's just an amazing experience.
the second on that, the outside seating is amazing. I'm not really an outside person. You know, I hide from the sun whenever I can, but definitely the outside seating with the buffet and even some of the, of course, the pool areas. But it's really, I've never been on a ship with that before, so I really do like that outside eating.
Neither have I. It's one of the cruise ships that I love MSC because there's so many different places you can get lost into, you know, like the lounges that you have available for public spaces. They're amazing, even with Magrivilia, you know, the plaza, the promenade area there, you can get lost, just like I said before, sitting there as Jean-Philippe in the little booths there. You can just sit there watching the sea all day long, having chocolate and coffee. What an amazing experience.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then you've got the pub upstairs, which is one of my favorite places to go and get one of my awesome cocktails that I normally go and get on the ship. So I like going up to that because there's lots of little nooks and crannies to hide out on your ships.
Just when you need to get away just from the family, or, you know, if you're like me, usually traveling alone, I like to find those little areas and just relax and be by myself.
When no one can find you, yes, I agree with that.
Find you, yes.
Hey, it's called vacation for a reason, right?
Talk about dining. You guys have partnered up, and like we said before, there's Jean-Philippe on the Magrivilia class ships, and then you've got Vici on the Seaside class ships. Is that correct?
Yes. Sorry, going through my blink. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah?
Yep, Benchy. It's amazing.
Then
I
she-
never thought
right.
that any chocolate could, you know, you think chocolate is chocolate. Once you have Benchy chocolate, it's amazing.
then
I
she-
never
That's
thought
right.
that any chocolate could, you know, you think chocolate is chocolate. Once you have Benchy chocolate, you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So there really is a difference. I mean, but it's just amazing. I know for the holidays, I always order from Benchy online because it's just such a treat. I don't buy it all the time, but that's what makes it so special on board, that it really is a treat.
And being able to have the gelato too. I noticed from Seaside to Magrivilia, the gelato is another one of my favorites. You know, you don't get to have that kind of quality at sea with gelato. It's amazing. It really is. I truly recommend, you know, besides getting on the ship, having espresso, you then have to find the chocolate bar, whichever brand it is, it doesn't matter. And you smell that chocolate, like it's, it's just amazing, this water fountain of chocolate. And then the gelato and the I'm already falling in love again. It's just so awesome.
I actually have a very funny story about Derrick. So on Maravilla, we have the partnership with Jean-Philippe Marais, and you can actually design your own chocolate bar on board. So you completely design and customize a chocolate bar.
Yes.
We were getting ready to start our team holiday gift exchange, and we couldn't find Derrick. he ended up coming late because he was making his own chocolate bar. But we totally, we were like, he's making his own chocolate bar. This is important. But it's just a funny story. But yeah, you can actually custom make your own chocolate bar. And I think it's great. You can put whatever you want saying wise on it, anything. I mean, it's just awesome.
And it's automated too. So when you walk up, you don't have to actually talk to it. And not that I'm trying to push this off. We all want personable service. But you can just bypass that line and stand there at the kiosk and actually do everything from an app, which is just wonderful. I think that's great.
It's amazing.
It's fully customizable, like she said. And yes, that was a funny story. I came in there with probably about 8 bars, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sharing," and I'm like, "No, let's take these back." But yes, like you said, it's a little kiosk, and it's fully customizable. And every detail that you put on the kiosk, they make sure it's in your bar as well. So I know I had some gifts made, if you want to call it, where I wrote their name on it, customized it with. One had like little Oreo pieces, another one had white chocolate. So it's probably one of my favorite things. And again, that's exclusively on the Meraviglia class as well. So definitely everyone has to get it.
It's such a fun thing to do as well.
I have to tell you, it probably tastes better because they make it fresh on board.
Yes.
Yes, that's the important part. Yes.
They make it fresh right on board. They're not shipping this in. They're actually making it right there.
And the other thing that I found really wonderful at the time that we were on the cruise ship was that Jean-Philippe was doing a lot of classes. And I know that he has his own team doing the classes as well. So you can book and you can actually go and learn about chocolate and the experience. And I didn't realize that he had to actually have certain temperatures and certain equipment for doing this at sea. That was really amazing.
Mm-hmm. And just think about the fact that the ship is kind of rocking ever so subtly. So, trying to get those nice, smooth chocolate, it's quite difficult. So it's not as easy as we think it is. So
no, it was amazing, actually. Tell me about your exclusive partnership with Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil, yes, we are very excited about that. So it was announced that for the Meraviglia class of ships, originally it was 4 ships, but then we added a 5th ship to the class. So we're not sure yet if the 5th one is going to get it, but we have an agreement for 4 ships, 2 shows per ship, and they have co-designed their own theater on the ship. So I don't know if you've seen pictures of a Meraviglia, but there's like this little kind of glass area in the back of the ship. That's actually the Cirque du Soleil theater, which is separate from the main theater, which is towards the front of the ship. Now
it's a very awesome setup because the stage is sort of in the center of this room. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is correct. Yes. So you get really a 360 action around you. And I don't know if you had the chance to see a show when you were on in November, but yes, it's totally 360. You have people walking on the glass, coming down from the ceilings. It's very interactive. And because like you said, it's so intimate and so small, you feel like you're right there in the action. And, there's not a bad seat in the house, no matter where you're sitting at.
And I love Cirque du Soleil.
So again, it's only on the 1 class of ships, so the Meraviglia class, but it is 2 shows per ship, and the shows do not, they're not all the same shows. So by the time the first 4 ships come out, there's going to be 8 Cirque du Soleil shows exclusively on MSC Cruises. So it's just even more of a reason to skip around each ship. So I've been on the Meraviglia and I've been on the Bellissima. So I'm waiting to see what the Grandiosa and what the Virtuosa has on board.
Yeah. Christina, tell me about something that you enjoy about Cirque du Soleil.
Gosh, I just think the theatrical production is just amazing. I mean, it's just the costume, the design, the whole performance is just the entire time you almost have your jaw dropped because you can't believe, that you're seeing these people do this and then you think, oh my gosh, they're doing it at sea. It's not like they're on the stage is level, but you're like, wow, this is so incredible that they're able to do all these amazing things, these crazy backflips, all the contortion, riding a unicycle like 20 feet in the air and do it flawlessly. So it's just really, I think from an entertainment perspective, it is truly just entertaining. You know, the whole time you're not like, when is this going to end? You want it to keep going.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Christina, this one's for you, love. What's your favorite restaurant out of MSC? I know that we're going to touch really briefly. We're not going to have time to talk about all of the partnerships. But tell me about one of the ones that you love on MSC.
So I am from Maryland, so I'm a seafood lover. So I love Ocean Key. Our seafood restaurant, but oh my goodness, it is just amazing. I even love, you know, I'm a big atmosphere person, so I mean, just a beautifully designed decor in the restaurant. I love having a nice martini, enjoying an amazing piece of fish, and all the appetizers are just to die for. So I have to say, Ocean Key, our seafood restaurant, is my favorite, just because I love seafood, but the cuisine is just amazing.
All right, now this is what I do ask all our guests on our show, and that is, what has been, and let's take MSC out of the equation, Christina, for you, what has been the best mouthful of food that you've ever experienced in your life?
In my life? Oh, on board or in my life?
No, in your life.
So I have to say, last summer we were in Positano, and I had this amazing seafood pasta in Positano, of course seafood, but it was a local little restaurant right in Positano, and I truly can say it was the best meal I've ever had in my life.
Wow. And what about you, Derrick? What's your favorite restaurant on the ship? And then tell me about your favorite meal or favorite mouthful that you've ever had. Doesn't have to be MSC.
Oh, well, how much time do we have? Because you're talking to me now, so. But to keep it brief, so for on the ship, okay, it's a tie for ships, and of course I'll have to talk about the new builds. But on Seaside, we have a partnership with Roy Yamaguchi, who I had the pleasure of meeting when the ship came out in December of 2017. Amazing guy, but he has a kind of a triple set series of restaurants on the Seaside. So the gosh, Christina, it's not the teppanyaki. It's like the main
Asian fusion.
Asian fusion. Yeah.
So it's the Asian fusion restaurant. That one is probably my favorite. They have these little crab cakes with this special sauce. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. But to share that one with my experience on the Meraviglia, which, as you know, Miss Jen, so they have the kind of promenade deck, if you will, so I was able to kind of eat outside, so that was super nice. But they have a really good sushi and even the takoyaki menu at the restaurant called Kato on Meraviglia. That one was probably my favorite time too. So split between those two. So you have kind of like the Japanese side, and I guess they're both Japanese in a way, but they're super good. Totally highly recommend it. And as far as my personal in my life, that would probably also be another tie, and it's a tie because the first restaurant is this little hole in the wall. It looked like it's in a basement in New York City. I grew up in Jersey, so New York was just a hop and a skip away. So it's an Italian restaurant. It was a pasta dish I had with, I think it was like clams, but they also had shrimp and oysters in it. And it was just amazing. But compare that to Naples in Italy, where I had probably the best real pizza I've ever had in my life. So again, sorry, it's another tie, but you're talking to a foodie, so I had to do
You
my
mean
quick.
like me when I first, crepes and gelato, yes, I know. And in Italy, the pizza, the street pizza is so different to anywhere else in the world that I've ever had. And you know what? The one thing that I think cruise ships do really well is pizza. You guys, all of your cruise lines do pizza so well.
We definitely do. But before we get into that, what's your favorite restaurant on board the ship?
My favorite restaurant on the ship? Well, I'm going to say I enjoy eating at the buffet. believe it or not. And I'm okay with, you know, because I was on a different brand ship and there was no buffet, so to speak, where you go and hand out, you know, pick your own food, all right? You had plates. You'd say, hey, I want this, I want that, and I want that. So it would be put on your plate. So I'm quite used to this new fandangled way of eating at a buffet. I must admit, I like the choices, and the pizza on the buffet is just, and the pasta that you guys make there fresh. Like,
and
yeah.
the bread is made fresh on board every day as well.
Yeah, you know, I get blown away by just the simple things in life. I don't need, I'm a foodie myself, and those simple things just are just, if they're done well, they're done awesomely. And you guys do that really well on your ships, really well.
Well, thank you so much. But yes, I have to agree with you. The pizza on board, specifically in the buffets, you know, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or late night, that's, well, I shouldn't say breakfast because, you know, we're supposed to have hearty meals during breakfast, but
No, I always,
nights.
I have the apricot pizza for breakfast on board. They have a breakfast apricot pizza. It's amazing.
Oh, I
Yeah. It's very big. I think as people travel, they want to be able to experience food. And for me, cruising is a way where I don't have to unpack every day. I get to see many different places, particularly when you combine cruises back to back to back to back to back.
I can only wish.
I have done that a couple of times, which I absolutely adore. I think
So-
it's just one of the best experiences that you can ever do. Being on a ship for a month is fabulous. Everybody gets to know who you are. You get such awesome treatment from everybody. And I cannot highly recommend, more than anything, is if you're going to go for a 7-day cruise, extend it. Do the back-to-backs, guys. Do the 14 days cruise. It's definitely well worth it.
The best people I've ever met in my life have been working on board. Like, they're so attentive, so nice, you know. You could meet them once and then they'll always remember your face for the rest of the cruise. I don't know how they do it. Like, I still get people I know and see every day mixed up, let alone they, you know, doing an instant. So that's one of the other perks and good things I love about coming on board MSC Cruises. So
Yeah. And were you crew on with MSC before you joined the administration staff?
No, I wish. I would definitely love to have been in the entertainment staff. That would have probably been my dream job. But no, I didn't. But I wish. But our crew on board is just amazing. It's nice, you know, we can even social media, you can keep up with them even when they're back home overseas or wherever they are around the world. But just even speaking to Derrick's point, I mean, last time I was on board, the second day I went to the buffet for breakfast, they remembered exactly how I liked my omelet. I was like, there are out of everyone on board, you remember my omelet order. So just little touches like that make such a difference.
cruising is all right for singles. So anyone who's debunk that's definitely a myth. You know, you can have fun on a cruise by yourself.
2 cruise tips, 2 cruise packing tips. Okay, what's number one? What's the number one thing that you sort of do all the time when you're cruising or when you're traveling?
So I think this first tip is probably twofold for whether you're cruising or just traveling in general. But I found that rolling my clothes in the suitcase allows me to pack more. And knowing me, I'm the type of person that I change outfits so often, it's really ridiculous. But that would probably be my first tip. Just rolling your clothes and seeing if the cruise that you're about to go on, if they have like a example of all the themes that they have on board, because you definitely want to pack for that and just really feel part of the experience on board. And the second advice I have, definitely working with the travel advisor and pre-booking, whether it's your gratuities, your shore excursion, beverage package, whichever. If you can, I always recommend pre-booking because I'm just the type of person where, you know, kind of like a land vacation, you just want to go, have everything already paid, don't have to worry about it. So that bill at the end of the cruise, whether it's large or small, I try to avoid that at all costs. So I pre-book everything. So those would be my 2 tips.
Awesome tips. I love it. Thank you. That's really good.
So definitely so so yes, no bill for me at the end. I just want to be able to get up the last day and cry, and just as I'm walking off the ship to go home.
It's so sad. Yeah, and I really don't appreciate cruise ships putting the day in the elevators. You know, I don't want to know when my cruise is coming to an end. Please don't do that anymore. You guys are going to be leaving from Canaveral very shortly too, right?
Yes, November. So, gosh, a matter of less than 2 months. So, of course, due to everything going on, we had to do a little change up. But yeah, so we're very excited to be expanding our home ports in America, which is probably ever since I started MSC years ago. That's one of the main goals that we had. So we're very excited, and we've received a lot of positive reviews about it, and people are excited that we have something other than Miami, even though Miami's great. So we're just glad to be spreading out to access more people. So MSC Cruises before, we are one of the only cruise lines with, or as we call it, with the industry's only status match program. So if you're avid cruiser with someone else, we do have the opportunity where we'll match that level, so you could try us out. And also military civil service, we have discounts all the time for them. And also since we're a family oriented company, we do also have a kids sail free program, which depending on the sailing and the ship could either be 17 years or younger sail for free, or 11 years and younger sail for free. So just wanted to
And talking about kids, which is what I really love, the kids clubs on cruise ships is awesome. But you guys have Dormy, and I love that. It's absolutely great. When I experienced the seaside, I did go up into the kids club area. I couldn't believe you guys had a 3D printer for the kids. That was fabulous.
Yes, so we like to keep their minds active. Just because we're on vacation, we'd like to keep them active and very interactive. So probably another thing on the long list of items that we're proud of and proud to offer. So
great to do this today. I mean, to talk about cruising and get excited about it again. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, Christina. Thank you for joining us. Love it. And Derrick, thank you so much for joining us here with Aussie and a Yank. I appreciate your time so much, and I really appreciate that you guys are working with us out here.
That's all, folks.
Travel advisor for this episode is #CruiseTravelGuru. Executive producer and editing of this audio is the Aussie. Co-producer is the Yank. All opinions expressed in this audio are of Aussie and a Yank and remain their opinions. Follow, like, subscribe and share. Aussie and a Yank on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube.